I'm ready to buy into this. If this holds, I'm ready to buy. I'm ready to buy. 17, buying, 17, buying at 18. Let's see that last pop. Not nearly as strong as I was hoping for. I thought we were gonna, boom, boom, quick pop there. Struggling, it's a little slow. Now we're getting a little bit more action. It's past 10:30. It was a slow pre-market. Market open was debatable, but you know what? I'm done. So good morning, guys. Welcome back. I'm happy to have you here. And what I want to do today is show you guys two perfect setups that if it was the only thing I did today, I would have been super, super green. Both of which I was watching. And I tried to trade. One I scratched out, and the other one I didn't get my entry. I was a little bit too low on my price. I was a little bit too conservative on a good setup, and on good setups, you always want to be aggressive on your entries. I don't know why. I feel like I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today when it comes to trading. I could not get into the flow. And boom, here it is. I'm down 150, which is actually okay because I was up, 300, and I just ended up, selling off, and I kind of got back. I was at one point down almost 500, and now I'm on a little bit of a green streak again, but I just couldn't get back in the green at this point in time. Maybe if I kept trading, but I just feel like it's a little risky out there. Here are my stats. I'm down 150. It's really not that bad. Win ratio, not great. My risk reward wasn't that great. I was really just holding on to a few losers too long, and look at this. Two big size on some tickers that just popped up, like FRZA just popped up first trade, and I took $12,000 on it. It was a little bit of a mistake, but that stuff like that put me in the red. And then I just, when you're trying to get out of the red, sometimes you get very defensive, and that made me, I think, miss a lot of moves. So I'm excited to show these moves with you guys. Let's start with our top gainer today. It was FRZA without a doubt, but it was not tradable for pretty much most of the day. And I'm only down 84 on this one. This is the one I was down like almost 500 on, and then I crawled back out of the hole. AMTD was the one I was actually up 300 on, and then I ended up being down on it. So it was just one of those frustrating days where it felt like the more I trade, the more red I get. And, I'm having what feels like probably a little bit of a dead cat bounce on my way down. That happens sometimes where the longer you trade, the more you give back. In July, it happened a few times. Specifically where, the longer I trade, the more money I lost. So when you feel like you're in one of those situations, it's best to call it. So FRZA was also one of the tickers that had that perfect setup, and I blundered it, and it was really stressful. So let's look at this one on the daily. It's a new ticker here popping up, recent IPO, and today we're popping up, moving higher, and there was a lot of resistance actually showing up right here in this area. First at 9.4, and then here at 10.77. I just kind of mapped out some very basic zones. I even used the hourly because it's a new ticker. So I kind of mapped out this area here where this was the low, and then this is the close. And these two zones ended up being really, really important. You can see here is the low that we just talked about, and then this is the close that we just talked about. So we were kind of stuck in this range for just a little bit. Now, I traded this one pre-market a few times. This is where I did my really, really big size, and just not even really big, but really big for a first-time ticker. First-time ticker pops up. I don't want to be trading it above average size. I want to be trading it below average size. I got too aggressive here. I even averaged down, and then I closed near the low, and I was like, wow, that was really embarrassing. That was exactly what you should not do. I should have cut and then rebought, if anything. But yeah, I tried a little bit of trade here. Didn't work either. And then this trade, I basically stopped looking at this ticker after the market opened until it went above VWAP, and then I was like, all right, let's go. It's in play. So let's zoom in here. What I did, I tried to buy this pullback. This failed, and I lost another $100. And at this point, I was down pretty much 500 on it on FRZA. And I was like, ugh. And at this point, I was down just about 500 on the day, and I was like, ooh, like I really can't keep going down so much, or so I'm gonna have to call it. And I've already been sizing down a little bit. So what happened was, I was like, okay, well, it looks like FRZA is forming an ABCD pattern, and like this is one of the good setups. So I was like, all right, well, it's a little bit of a sketchy, washy ticker, so I'm gonna try to get an entry below $9. What happens? Boom! I was ready to go at like 8.95, or I forgot where it was. It was right in this area. It looks like it was gonna break, and then it popped right back up, and I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And at this point, I didn't really want to chase because every time I chased on this ticker, I got whacked and it dropped on me. Anyway, it keeps pumping. I just trade with small size, see if I get some flow on it. I do a little bit. I take a few more trades, but look at this. Just they never ended up working. And I actually ended up digging myself out of the hole here. So I was down almost 500. Now I'm only down 84 on it. So it actually worked with me trading this, but today was one of those days where if you did not catch the initial move, there was no second chance. There was no opportunity to get that third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th pullback. We've seen it all, where it's just a nice, clean 30, 45-minute front side. Today just was not the case. And that's why it was so tricky for me to trade, because it was just absolutely not my style today. So frustrating, but that's fine as well. I just wish, I feel like if I wasn't red today, I would have really got aggressive here. I always say patience, aggression, and size. Look at the 5-minute right here. Nice little 5-minute pop. We're pulling back. I mean, it's not like the most perfect move, but it's over VWAP, and right now we have increasing volume. Like, there's a lot of signs that are good. And I really should have just jumped in on this one. So if I got this move, who knows where I would have sold, but this whole entire move here was 17%. I would have been happy with just 3% of that. But yeah, that was the first one. Then AMTD, this is actually the ticker I was initially green on, and then I ended up giving back. I did some really okay trades. And let me actually go back to the daily so we can see the daily on this one. Relative volume, not that great, and it's a backwards, descending backside pattern, so it's not that great either. A lot of upside resistance, but I had a few nice trades here, again with smaller size, and then if I'm like, oh yeah, let's start sizing up, things are looking good, and then whack, didn't work, and I gave back like 60% of my profits here, and I'm like, ugh, of course, like not the best way to start the day. And then this one opens up, and just look at this beauty that I missed. So let's go right here. So big 5-minute breakout. It's not that interesting yet because it's not over VWAP. Now I don't want to trade tickers when they're not over VWAP. So at this point we had that VWAP breakout, so I started trading it. Now I started trading it here looking for a little pop. It didn't happen. Then I was like, okay, you know what? It's gonna have that pull back, and then it's gonna pop back up, and then we're gonna have that huge run. That's exactly what happened, and I scratched out for no reason whatsoever. I realized I scratched out, and then I bought back here, but again, small size, I mean like $1,500, and barely made any profit. This move right here, again, perfect VWAP breakout, 17% move. So much quicker than we saw FRZA make. So FRZA was more of like a ABC 5-minute setup right here. We had the pullback, so A, B, C, which I was waiting for lower entry, and then boom, D, the breakout. So I did the D breakout, but I didn't get my C. And then AMTD, wait, not AMTD, what was I just talking about here? AMTD, why is it not showing up? Okay, we were on the wrong day. And now my trades aren't showing up, that's fine. It's a little cleaner to look at. So yeah, I got a move here, I scratched, I bought the breakout, I scratched, and I traded it, I don't know, maybe one more time. But this was a little bit frustrating right here because, again, perfect breakout. And for some reason, I'm just sandbagging. So just those two trades alone could have put me over $1,000 a day, trading them with the right size, the right timing. I mean, obviously, you could say that about anything. But this was exactly what I'm looking for, and this is what I trained for, and this is what exactly my strategy is. So I can literally say that about those two moves. And sometimes that actually happens. Sometimes I only have one or two trades that, is the reason I have $1,000 a day. So that's why I can say that with fair confidence. Like, all you would have had to do today was those two exact moves. So it's all about being patient, waiting, sometimes dipping your toes in, getting a feel for the market. I feel like that's important as well. And then when you see the right setup, when you see this pullback after the VWAP breakout with increasing volume, 2 million shares being traded per 1 minute, what am I doing? Get aggressive. It doesn't matter if you bought like 2 cents too high or something like that, or if you like here, I was waiting. But if I just bought those extra 2 cents higher, I would have had my fill, right? So you want to be patient, you want to get aggressive, and if it's that good setup, if that's that perfect setup you've been waiting for, if that A+ setup, that's the time to do 2, 3, 4, 5x size. So my trading overall just wasn't that good today. It also wasn't like my strategy wasn't out there per se. So like the tickers we were trading weren't like my go-to kind of strategies. We have a lot of weird continuation moves, like with BBBY, for example, or with, oh God, what is that other ticker? Let me see here. So we also had, let's see, MEGL, it just keeps moving. So we had a lot of continuation runs, and I think maybe that's why there's a little bit of divergent, lack of real clear attention per one ticker, which is fine. So I guess to some extent I managed my risk okay today. I didn't do a great job of risk management, but I also just didn't see the great tickers, and that's what kept me in the red today, unfortunately. Couldn't trade the strategy that I worked so hard to perfect, but that's fine. Just one of those days. We'll get back in the saddle. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you then first thing tomorrow morning. Like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.